and I'm really excited to take part of that. I think it really feels like an adventure.
So to start, can you just introduce yourself, your name, where you're from originally, where you are now, kind of what position you have?
So my name is Asaph Zylbertal. I'm currently a postdoc in the Bianco lab at UCL, working on visual motor transformation in zebrafish with a sort of combination of whole brain imaging and deep learning and network modeling methods. My PhD was in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. My focus was completely different. I worked on biophysics of neurons and microcircuits in vitro, but I also tried to keep this sort of mix of computational methods and experimental methods.
How did you hear about Neuromatch Academy?
So I heard about Neuromatch Academy through the Neuromatch conference, the first Neuromatch conference, which was really great and took place a few weeks ago. And heard about that through Twitter.
Why did you decide to apply to be a TA for Neuromatch Academy?
Well, as maybe a plan for my from what I did in my short research career, I always tried to do this combination of computational methods and experimental methods, and I think it was a great set of tools for me to think about problems and think about experimental findings and sift through possible solutions. And I think it applies to any field in neuroscience, regardless of the level of abstraction. And it's definitely not limited to those who see themselves as computational neuroscientists. So I think that the Neuromatch Academy is really a unique initiative to lower the entry barrier for using these tools for a very large audience of people, really unprecedented scope. And I'm really excited to take part of that. I think it really feels like an adventure. And not to mention that I still consider myself as a beginner in many of these methods, actually maybe most of these methods. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to learn new skills and fill some gaps. And of course, to meet and interact with great people from the community, again, in a scope that's probably never done before.
Do you have previous experience TAing or teaching, or is this your first time?
I have some experience teaching for my PhD. Throughout most of my PhD, I worked as a TA in my department. It was never about computational neuroscience, but mostly physiology and intercellular recordings, mostly hands-on labs, lab exercises. And I also worked a lot with outreach projects, like the Science Museum in Jerusalem and the University Youth Department, and these kind of initiatives.
Do you have just kind of any reflections about things that you've learned from those past teaching or outreach experiences, especially if you think they might be relevant to TAing for Neuromatch Academy?
I think one reflection that I have from these past experiences is that the issues that I imagine to be difficult for students are usually not the ones that are actually difficult for them, and it takes a while to get to know the students, to get to know what constitutes for them as a difficult subject or easy subject. So this is a sort of a bi-directional process that needs some time to mature.
And what do you expect will be some of the major benefits that students get from participating in the Academy, particularly given kind of the close interaction that they'll have with TAs?
So I think the main outcome for students, as I mentioned before, would be to lower this entry barrier into these methods. I think a lot of people sort of know that they would like to use computational methods in their research, but they think it's like a very tall mountain to climb on. It will be very difficult. So I think the main advantage, especially with working with the TA, is to see that it's not such a big deal, that you could just get into it and do it. You can understand. You can predict neural activity from behavior in a 90-minute tutorial and understand what's going on. It's not like it's not like learning a whole new subject or getting into a whole new field.
And you kind of spoke to this earlier as well, but what do you anticipate getting out of being a TA?
So from being a TA, I mostly anticipate learning. I think one of the number one things for me would be learning. There's a bunch of stuff in computational neuroscience that I sort of know about, I read about, but I think I need this push to be able to actually implement it. And this is a great learning opportunity for me personally.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.